guys, so the tutorial that I'm going to teach you guys how to do today is a scrunchie. What you're going to need for this is scissors, some kind of elastic string, and then 30 of 2 different kinds of colors, or maybe even 3 depending on how big you want your scrunchie to be. Depending on what your wrist size is, you can use, for the first row, anywhere between like 20 to 30, depending on how big you want it to be. Obviously, this is a really big scrunchie. This is a smaller one. This one was done with 20 beads as the base for it. You start off with one single, and then you put the beads in between them. Here's a better view of it. The pink was the base for this, and you can see the string that was the original single, and where the yellow is strung in between the 2 pink beads. Instead of a cuff or like a payout stitch where you would put it, the second row, on top of one bead, skip over another bead and add an additional bead onto it, you go in between the 2 beads here. I'll show you. This is a regular payout stitch, and where you would normally start off with your base being red and the next row being yellow, it goes on top of the bead versus where the scrunchie is in the middle. So again, 2 to 3 colors. You start off with the scrunchie, you put the second row, which is the blue, in between the 2, and if you wanted to do a third row, you would just go in between the blue as well. So let's get started. Take your string. It doesn't really have to be super long. It's relatively easy, and I'm starting off with 30 because when I did that 20, it was kind of really kind of tight. If you want it to be really loose and you like it looser, you can do just the regular size of your wrist. A normal size wrist is 32 beads, but depending on your wrist size, that might be bigger or smaller. Mine's about 30. So you just string on your beads, and we're going to tie it off like a single. Your 30 beads on a string, or whatever number of beads that you are using, we're going to tie a square knot. So you go under and under once again, pull, and if you want to double knot it, you can double knot it or triple knot it. So once you've done that, we're clipping off one end. Only one end. Make sure that you keep the other end that's longer on. To hide the knot, we're going to string through one bead, so the knot is hidden inside that bead. String on your secondary color, which I am using a sparkly gold. And unlike a cuff where you would string through this bead, we're going to string through the one directly beside it. So it falls between. And continue this all the way around. Once you've reached the last bead and you're about to add it on, you need to go through the blue bead and your secondary bead, the first one that you actually strung on for that second row, and you go up through there so it will be easier to tie it. If you want to add on a third row, this is where you would start. You would take your string, add on a bead, and string through your second row and keep going all the way around, kind of like you would with a cuff. And you can see how it gets definitely like twice the size of what it was before. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you choose the base size for it. This one is relatively loose, it's out there, versus this one that was 20, was really tight and form-fitting. So it really depends on how you like your candy, how you like to wear it, if you like it tight or if you like it loose. One thing also to keep in mind before you tie it off finally is if you want it looser, you can pull it looser and it will stay pretty loose, or you can pull your string really tight and it will bunch up a lot more. So that's another way that you can control how tight it is going to be around your wrist. So how we tie this off, take the end of your string and you're going to stretch here just a little bit, so where you have the 2 strings, and we're going in between there and around this one. So the end of the string goes between these. If I can get it to go. There we go. And then we're going through the loop, and you're going to pull it. And do that 2 or 3 times. Okay, and then you just tie the end off, cut the end off. Pull it a little bit so you hide your knot in between there. And you've successfully made your first scrunchie. I hope that this tutorial was helpful for you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye!